Welcome. This is It's Your Life. Live it to the fullest. I'm your host, Joyce Wheeler. And it is Friday, May 27th, 2016. You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio and Heggy Shack Radio. Please remember that we're a listener-sponsored station and click that donate button and show some love. Tonight I am here with Tova Gold. And Tova Gold is the owner and, well, with her husband.
Hi.
Tova, how do you say your husband's name?
Ellie.
Okay.
Ellie, yes. I had that same question when we first met because we met online and I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I've been attracting people with names that I'm having a hard time pronouncing these days. And you and your husband, you started, well, he's a licensed acupuncturist.
Correct.
And you were a branding expert and product designer.
Absolutely, yep.
And he came up with the idea of creating these ear seeds. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. I mean, well, he didn't create ear seeds. Ear seeds have been around a very long time, but he came up with the idea of making them accessible to more people sharing auriculotherapy in a more accessible way and packaging them in a way that people could use them.
And how do you say that? What kind of therapy is that?
Auriculotherapy. So that is the equivalent of like reflexology on the feet. Auriculotherapy is to the ear. Okay,
so tell us about, some people might not know about reflexology. So I know what it is, but why, share with us why reflexology is beneficial to us.
So the ear and the foot and the hand is a microsystem of the entire body. So there are different microsystems throughout our body, that have points on them that represent all the different parts of the body. So like when, you've seen those images of the bottom of the feet and there's like areas for the liver and the stomach and the heart and the brain. And I don't know much specifically about reflexology. I'm really my auriculotherapy, but it works on the same concept of a microsystem. So the ear as a microsystem also has hundreds of points, that are related to different parts of the body, both physical and emotional. And when you stimulate the different points, it is believed that it can elicit a response elsewhere in the body, like the pressure point communicates with the brain, and then the brain communicates with that part of the body.
So are these the same points that are used in acupuncture?
Very frequently, yes. Yes, I don't know across the, are you speaking about the ear specifically?
No, well, because I know that acupuncture is done without the body, but in acupuncture, do they use at times those points in the ear?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of acupuncturists, when you go for treatment for whatever it is that you might want, whether it's a specific ailment or just general balance and wellness and well-being, they'll often stimulate points on the ear with needles. The needle is the acupuncturist tool. So they will, often you'll go in, maybe you'll say you have back pain, and they'll, do some needles on your back or elsewhere on your body, on your feet, and then they'll also do some points on your ear. And it's strange. Oh, for back pain, why are you, hanging around on my ear? But yeah, they'll use needles on those points. So ear seeds is basically another way to stimulate those points, but they're non-invasive. They don't break the surface of the skin. So that.
Do you have to press on them to get them to work?
Well, once they're on the ear, they do exert like mild pressure consistently, but you can also press on them and that'll help stimulate them further. So like if for example, I wear them when I'm stressed. I find that they really work well for me for stress. So normally if I'm, sometimes you're going through life and you're like, okay, this is stressful right now. Like it's a stressful week. I'll put them on, and then throughout the week, they last Generally we say, depending on which product of ours you're using, because we have different types of seeds, they last between 2 to 5 days. Sometimes they last longer. We tell people to take them off after about 5 days to a week. As I go through the week, if like something just sort of triggers my stress, I'll go and I'll press on them, just to kind of release more endorphins around that. And you can use them the same way for headaches or back pain. Sometimes the more you rub on them, it stimulates it more.
And how long does it take for them to work? I mean, do you put them on right away and they start to work, or does it take?
So that's a really interesting question. We get asked that a lot. The auriculotherapy as, a therapy has been around a long, long time before us. So it's based on many factors. If you go to an acupuncturist, they're not just necessarily going to do ear seeds for whatever it is that you're going for. We have personally seen people, who immediately felt results, directly related to the points that they put the ear seeds on. And then other people will put them on, and like with acupuncture, it's also, it can work as a cumulative effect. So over time, you become, like when I wear them for stress, it might immediately lessen my stress, but over the course of time, maybe over the course of the week, my stress will just diffuse a little bit more. People have used them for sciatica pain. We put them on somebody, at a trade show. He was another vendor. And on the setup day before the actual show, he was walking around looking, and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty interesting." And we said, "Yeah, and he said, if you had anything for sciatica, I would be willing to give it a shot, because I have had this sciatica pain for 2 years, ever since he was in a skiing accident." And, again, because it's such a big, thing that we're working with, and it's not necessarily always just, it's not a magic pill. We were like, "Oh, okay, we could put it on the sciatica point. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't." And, we get nervous. We're like, "Oh, we don't want to put it on and see nothing happen."
Right.
And he sat down, and we put 3 ear seeds on his sciatic point and some other lower back points. And by the time he stood up a minute later, he was in shock that the pain it was like less pain than he had in 2 years. We didn't even believe him. We were like, "Stop." And he's like, "No, I swear." And he's like twisting and turning. And, so some people do see immediate results, like immediately. And other people, if you put them on for insomnia, for instance, you might not go to bed that night and just have perfectly sleep through at night. But over time, you might find it cumulative. We have, there are points for weight loss, and it's not a magic bullet. You're not going to put them on Monday and by Thursday, drop 3 dress sizes. Like, it doesn't work that way. But people have found and they're believed to help cure, help you with your cravings, so that they're easier to make it through the cravings, or like for me, when I put them on, like it helps with my sugar, like I'm not craving sugar because I'm sort of a sugar addict. So so it's different for everybody. For some people we say you might feel something right away, and for some people they might not feel it. If you're getting headaches, and there are 100 different things that can contribute to why you're getting a headache.
Right.
So maybe they'll work and maybe they won't. And maybe a trip to an acupuncturist is in order. Maybe there's other things going on with your system, that really need, a deeper look that obviously this product can't do.
Now, I went and I bought the one to stop smoking. That's the one I bought. Right now I've got on my second set.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I put them on, I noticed I wasn't craving cigarettes as much.
That's cool.
And even like when I got up in the morning, which means, okay, I get up in the morning, I have a cigarette. And I got up in the one morning, I was like, I don't want a cigarette, but I had one because that's what I do.
Yes.
So that's kind of a problem.
Yes. So that's what we say. Well, I'm sorry, I cut you off, but that's what we say also, is like listening to your body. Like if your body is telling you you don't want a cigarette, but then your habits take over and you just don't listen, like, there is something to that, but it's it's a help, you know, it's meant to be a help. That's what it's, traditionally been used for.
Right. You know, and the thing was too is that my husband's been wanting me to quit smoking. Mm-hmm. One of my problems is that deep down inside I really don't want to. I do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, when I found the ear seeds on Twitter. Somebody mentioned them on Twitter and I was like, what is this?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, somebody was talking about your essential oil ear seeds, which we'll get into later, and they were saying I want to try them. And I had to click on the link. I'm like, what are these ear seeds? So, and the thing is too, is I like it that it's not real expensive. I mean, I've got 120 self-adhesive ear seeds, the tweezers, and then the ear chart kit. And I paid what? Like $19?
$19. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because my husband said, because we do everything natural, he says you need to find something natural to help you quit smoking. Mm-hmm. So the ear seeds, and I said, I found something. I said, I want to try this. So we got it. Now, the only thing is he puts the seeds on for me because I can't put them on.
Yes. So that is the thing. And we even say in the kits, as you've seen, like it helps to have somebody help you, especially at the beginning as you start getting used to it. I actually have the Stop Smoking kit of all of them right in front of me. It does help to have somebody. Eventually we found, and there's information on our website also because, like I've learned to put them on myself in most points. There are some points that are really difficult to get correct, but if you're wearing them over the course of time and you're pressing on them every now and then, you become familiar with the location, and so it becomes a little bit less awkward to find the point and put it on yourself. There are also other tips and tools and tricks that I share in some of our materials about how to do it. For instance, you could a lot of bathrooms have like 2 mirrors like in a medicine cabinet. So if you set up the mirrors like you used to do, when you're checking the back of your hair. I know when I was a teenager doing my hair I did that a lot. But you can set up 2 mirrors so that you're looking directly into one and seeing a perfect profile of your face. And then it's just a matter of kind of, you're working a little backwards, but you can find the points that way and become familiar with your ear. Another thing that you could do is, use your cell phone to take a picture of your ear and then lay that next to the chart and visually, figure out where the points are on your ear as compared to the chart so that you're not like, kind of navigating that whole process in the mirror, but rather first in front of you, and then you're more familiar with where to find it.
One thing that I want to talk more about this, but I really want to talk about the seeds. What type of seeds are these?
So in the main kits, our primary educational product is the condition-specific kits. And I think at this point we've got 14 conditions. And 2 of them are extended kits, so they've got a lot more information, and we worked with specific specialists in those categories. But basically, the kit comes with 120 Vicaria ear seeds. So
what kind of seeds?
Vicaria. Vicaria. Yeah, I know. That's what they're called. It's a kind of a flower, a plant that is used in Chinese medicine. It looks like a little purple and white flowering plant when you see what the actual plant is. And it's also called like cow herb or cow soapwort. It's got a few different names. And the seed itself is known in Chinese medicine and herbology as a blood invigorator. So that's what it's often used for in ingestible herbs. For invigorating the blood. They say it's very good for lactation and stuff like that. So it's a really like round seed with no points. Some of the other seeds can sometimes have like natural points on them, that can make them uncomfortable or not stick well. So these are really consistent size and really round and smooth. And they come to you when you purchase a kit. They come in a little plastic tray. And each individual tiny seed, as you know, is attached to a small patch of adhesive tape, like tan-colored medical tape. And what we sell to you with a stainless steel tweezer, which is like a really nice quality medical grade stainless steel tweezer. And you use the tweezer to just sort of peel back the tape from the plastic tray, and that reveals the seed. And then you basically just press it onto the ear on the point specific to the condition that you're working with. So each kit also has a chart with a picture of the ear, and usually it's between 5 and 8 different points that are specific to that condition. So that's how the kits come and what they come with.
Yeah, I've got 6 on.
Yeah.
Well, 12 altogether because they're on both sides.
Yes. Yeah. So you know, it's funny. I didn't even know you had to stop smoking, but I'm looking at it, and you can see. So like if you want, I can go through the points that are in this kit. Would you like me to do that?
Oh yeah, please.
Tell you a little bit. So the first point that's in every single kit that we make is called Shenmen. And it's called a master point, Shenmen, and it's really just good for centering. It's found in traditional Chinese medicine to really just center the body and connect you to spirit and yourself. So, and it's also been found to help boost the effectiveness of the other points. That's what it's believed to do in Chinese medicine. So we include that master point in every single one of our kits, for every condition.
Where is that? Could you tell us where it's located? I know people can't see, but
yeah. So that point is located on the upper portion of the ear. So on our website, we also have a lot of different information on finding points. We've got videos and you know, downloadables that show all the parts of the ear. The ear, you know, what it's got working against it is that it's a complicated looking thing and you can't see it so clearly. I like to say that, the ear actually, according to the World Health Organization, is the most studied microsystem on the human body.
Really? Why is that? Why?
Because it's fascinating, because a lot of people who have studied it it's truly like the amount of literature that exists on it and books and textbooks. It's enormous, but yet everyone's basically at this point heard of reflexology and nobody's heard of auriculotherapy. And I always say it's because auriculotherapy just doesn't have as good PR as reflexology.
Actually, I have heard of it.
Of auriculotherapy?
Well, I haven't heard of that, but I did know about the points in the ear. It was, I was doing freelance writing and I was making the content for a website for a essential oil representative. Mm-hmm. When I was doing that, I actually I came across the different points in the ear because for certain of the oils, mm-hmm. they would tell you to put it like on this part of your ear or that part of your ear with any issue that you needed. So this, from my diagram, the Shenmen.
Yeah.
So if you were to grab the top of your earlobe, there's that valley that's right in there, right?
Well, that's not the lobe where you're talking about. The lobe is like down, you know, where you would normally pierce your ear. This is, I'll try to explain it. So the most outer portion of your ear is called the helix. So like, you know, the part that's the furthest out. And then if you travel just slightly in closer to your face, there's, a curve called the antihelix. And that, in the picture it says the ridge. So all around that ridge is actually the antihelix. And the antihelix is this cartilage that it sort of forks towards the top of your ear. And there's the lower antihelix branch and then the upper antihelix branch. And where they split, they create a V. Right. That's right near the top of your ear, like closest area to your face. And that V, we call that the valley. And the Shenmen is just slightly in and slightly up from the corner of that valley. There's the video that we created of it's like, I don't know, maybe a 20-second video, a real close-up of my ear. And it shows how to find it. It's on our website. Somebody had written an article for some website about Shenmen and what a powerful point it is for like a mainstream website. and that if you just massage that point, you can help, calm stress and anxiety. And in that article, they inserted our video for how to find this point. And at this point, I believe that video has just about nearing 1 million views, which is pretty awesome. And it's awesome because our goal is really to help spread the word about auricular therapy. Like, you'd heard of it, you knew something around it existed, and that's what we find. We find that once people see it, it like sparks a familiarity to them, but they don't really know about it. Maybe they've been to an acupuncturist who's used some points, but they don't really know what that was about. When we launched, we really thought we would have a harder time finding people who were even peripherally familiar with it, but we haven't. It's nice to see that people are semi-familiar with it at the get-go. They just don't know any, real information about it, and they're open to it. It's interesting to them. It seems like something that makes sense, which is great, because it does.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's why I bought the kit.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, I'm on the smoky one. The next one is being that sympathetic.
The sympathetic point. And that's believed to correspond to the nervous system and addictions. That is a even more difficult point to reach because it's hidden from view. So that's a point that you definitely probably need help finding. When I was talking before about the anti-helix and how that just curves around your ear, and it follows the path all the way like towards your face at the top of your ear, that point is sort of hidden under the curve, like at the point closest to your face. It's so hard to describe without a picture, which is why we work really hard to make, really understandable pictures with our products. But it's a little hidden spot there, and that one's really good also. Like, it's just very calming, centering. And there's, a lot of history of auricular therapy being used for addiction and other kinds of addictive behaviors. So that's a point that's commonly used for stuff like that.
I just realized while we're talking about it, I'm over here feeling my ears and my seeds going, I don't have any seeds on this point.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm thinking maybe that's why, cause I had my husband put them back on, yesterday. And I'm like, I push on them throughout the day to like hopefully help with cravings, make sure that they're all there.
Yeah.
And I just realized, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's why, because I was like, why am I still wanting a cigarette? Why am I still, I want one.
Right.
It's not being habitual. And then I went, I'm minus 2 ear seeds.
The sympathetics, it's an important one. I think that it's a use point for that. And I'd be curious when you go home and have your husband put it back on and see if you notice, the difference. And, something like smoking is also, we address some of the physical, habitual stuff, but there is, of course, only so much that can be done, out of context of actual, person's life and their, surroundings. So the next point that we have on here is the mouth point. So that's a point, and we didn't like make up these point names. This is their actual traditional names. And the mouth point is used, it's also in our weight loss kit. It's used for the physical desire to like have something in your mouth. That is that part of the desire to smoke. It's sort of the physical need. Now I'm thinking I should put my youngest daughter is a thumb sucker, and we've been trying to stop, and she's always saying, but my mouth is bored, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should put it on that spot for her. I hadn't even thought of that.
That's cute. How old is she?
She is 5. Yeah, 5.5. We're working on it. Hopefully we'll stop that thumb sucking. It makes me crazy, but different conversation.
So then where is the mouth point located?
So the mouth point, yeah, I'm sorry?
Looks like it's kind of by the ear canal.
It is not, the points are never in the ear canal. So if you're finding your aiming for the ear canal, don't do that. But it is at the top of the wall before the ear canal opening. So like, as I've been talking, I've been like touching my ear, but I have earplugs in, so I can't even go there.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking at the chart and he's talking, I'm touching my ear.
Like my ear. But, yeah, so it's at the uppermost part of the opening of the ear canal. But not in the ear canal. Definitely never in the ear canal. So yeah, and it should stick right up there. Almost on the underside of the wall opening.
And then D is the lung.
Lung 1 and lung 2 are points, D and E. And you see it, so the inside of the ear right there is called the conch, and the area of lung 1 and lung 2, if you like stick your finger in there, it's almost like a bowl, and the centermost, deepest point in that area of your ear is called the heart point. The heart point's not in this kit, but the lung points 1 and 2 are right above and right below the heart point, which is kind of poetic, and also in aligned with a lot of the principles of auriculotherapy. So you've got the two different lung points, one above and one below the heart point, which is the deepest point of the conch.
Now I find like the last seed, nicotine. Now you said you guys didn't name these, so this is actually called the nicotine point?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah. And I wish I could give more like background on who did name them. I don't know at this point. I mean, we can constantly study and learn more about all of this, but yeah, no, that's the actual name of the point.
Does that point serve any other purpose, or is it just nicotine?
Well, the point itself is very, very close to the, another point called the tranquilizer point, which is in our anxiety kit. And, that is used for helping with stress and anxiety. So I don't know, I couldn't answer offhand if specifically the nicotine point. And, people are like, oh, do I have to get the exact point? And like, you do want to aim for the point, and you can feel for tenderness in the area where the point is to determine if it's the right point. But it's often related as well to the points that are in near proximity to it. So there's a lot in that area that is, for like stress relief and calm and stuff like that.
Now, could you just like use your finger and press on those points, and would it have the same effect?
In theory, it would have the same or similar effect, probably not as, targeted, but people have used, you can just do like ear massage, on some of those points and, for the therapeutic response.
Now, going back to the seed itself. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason you chose that this seed is used is because of its consistency of its shape. And what about its medicinal properties as far as using it on the ear?
So I can't. So I couldn't say that it has necessarily medicinal properties. That's a big word in this country. But the herb itself is known in Chinese medicine to invigorate the blood. So, improve circulation and things like that is what it's believed to do, and that's how it's used in Chinese medicine. So Vicaria it's a good go-to herb, according to their way of doing things. I don't really know the right word for that. But it's not the only, material that we use for seeds. That's the ones that come in our condition kits. But we have a whole variety of other products that include different types of ear stimulator pellets or seeds, that look different, and they are made out of different materials. But regardless of what material that they're made out of, their primary function comes from the pressure that they exert. So it really, and as you said, like even massage can help. So you can use different materials to do it. Some people I believe have used, mustard seeds. Traditionally they might use those as well. It's really about the pressure. So so for example, we've got other ear seeds, that look different, and instead of seeds from the Vicaria plant, they use tiny little metal balls, metal pellets. And those metal pellets can be, made out of all different types of materials. So we've got stainless steel ones and we've got gold ones. And the gold is generally, according to Chinese medicine, it's known for its tonification properties and its ability to sustain and restore harmony to the body. Whereas stainless steel is known for its neutral and balancing properties. So depending how deeply into that side of it you want to go, you can find information that explains why those are the different properties of the different elements. But most of the studies and most of what we follow talks about the pressure that they're exerting and how that is really what's where its strength comes from.
So that's the key.
Yeah, the pressure is really the key. Yeah.
Okay, so now you have you also, there's the ear seeds with the self-adhesive, like you were saying, like medical tape, but then you also have people, if they don't want it to be so noticeable, say like maybe a man who has short hair and he doesn't want people there, you've got, what is it? It's a clear adhesive?
Yeah, so we've got, those stainless steel pellets. They come with, clear tape. So instead of the medical tape, they've got, clear tape, which leaves them almost invisible on the ear. All you see is a tiny little, stainless steel pellet, which almost disappears into the ear. And that you can purchase that product and use it in conjunction with one of our condition specific kits. So when you purchase, we sell it as 160 pieces of the clear tape stainless steel pellets. And it just comes with a basic ear chart, which gives you, 3 master points that are good for wellness and balance and well-being, but they don't have a specific health condition. So if you purchased, say, the Stop Smoking kit, but you didn't, love the tan tape, you would then, in addition, purchase the stainless steel pellets with the clear tape for a different look. And then on top of that, we also have our fashion ear seeds.
Your what?
Our fashionable ear seeds.
Oh yes, I've seen those.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Thank you. Yeah. So, coming from my background and my husband coming from his as an acupuncturist, we really were in a great position to merge our sort of different backgrounds and our knowledge base and create something that is maybe a little bit more interesting and fun and accessible to everyday people. Sometimes when you're so close to something, you see it the way you see it, but when you sort of merge two different worlds, you can create a whole new way of looking at things. So when we started this, I could go back, I could tell you where it all came from if you want me to do that.
Let's do that. Let's go back and let's hear about where this, how this all got started with these ear seeds.
Okay. Well, I could go really far back or just semi-far back.
Half, you can go as far back as you want.
We got time. No, it's actually, it's not only, I think it's kind of interesting, but it's a meaningful story for me. And it's not something that I, share very, openly in my ear seeds. I do all the communication, through ear seeds, like our social media, and I write all of our newsletters. So it's all my voice, which is kind of, upbeat and positive. And I try to really, a lot of positive energy and just brighten people's day. And that's really part of our they say our company culture. It's part of who we are as a family and as a business is really not just about like, oh, hey, we made a product and hey, here, buy our product. Like I said, I had been in, the product design industry. I was working in the New York fashion industry for basically my whole adult life, making all kinds of products, from clothing and accessories to jewelry to baby toys, like you name it, like I've designed it. And, I was, pretty happy at my job, and I was an acupuncturist working. And, our lives sort of took a turn, back in 2009. I can't believe I'm telling the story. I wasn't planning on telling the story. Our lives took a turn in 2009, when our daughter was a year and a half, 1.5 years old. We were pregnant again with identical twins, little girls. And at 6 months into the pregnancy, they were stillborn. Oh. And yeah, sorry, I'm throwing this at you, and I know it's such a hard, weird thing to mention, but that happened to us. And it sort of set our whole, life course on a whole different journey than we would have been expecting, from where we were standing right before that happened. Thankfully I'll just, we went on after that, and we had another daughter, perfectly beautiful. Everything was, great, but it really changed me as a person. And I had been doing all of this work, working. That was my career. And that experience, it changed me, and it made it really difficult to continue on the path that I was going. I was working, lots of hours, sort of, new mom. I was stressed out a lot and not taking care of myself, and, just doing that thing that we all kind of do. And then this tragedy happened, and it sort of forced me to sort of hit the reset button on my life, like as an individual at that point, in order to sort of work my way out of the grief that I was in. I started looking around me for things that didn't suck, I guess, for things that could bring joy into my life. And this thing that I kept coming upon, especially when I was pregnant with my youngest daughter after the loss, was I started wearing a lot of sparkles, like clothing that had sequins and bright colors. I went from like being all drab and dreary and like roll out of bed and get me to work and, get through the day, to I'm gonna wear some crazy, inspired, happy colored clothing because I felt horrible on the inside, but I thought, well, I can look happy on the outside. And what I found was that I can't believe I'm so deep into the story, but what I found was that it inspired my joy, like my deep rooted creativity, and so much of the joy and cheerfulness that had been missing in my life. And I went on.
You know what it sounds like to me? Mm-hmm. By incorporating those colors, because we're all energy, we're all frequency.
Yeah.
And colors have frequency. Mm-hmm. I think what you did, not really knowing what you were doing, when you were just going ahead and you were increasing your vibrational frequency by wearing these colors.
Yeah, 100%. I had started on this little, it was like a personal thing where I started wearing like all these happy clothes, and I started sharing it online in these, support groups for moms who had also had losses. And it started resonating with the women that I was in there with. Like, I'd be like, oh, if you're having a bad day, just wear sparkles. Like, I thought that they would think I was crazy, but it really started resonating with them. And eventually it became sort of a personal mission of mine, to spread this idea of joy through color and sparkle and light. And that, just because we get older and just because we have these responsibilities and, we want to be appropriate or all of these other things, it doesn't mean we can't self-express and be silly and joyful and fun. And, for a few, go ahead.
I totally agree. I mean, that's why I've said I'm never growing up, because adults don't have any fun and I like to have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So I was just discovering this. I was in my like mid-30s and I was just really rediscovering myself and seeing also, now in this social media, like I was connected to so many women who were in a really dark place, and yet something about the way that I was approaching my healing, I could see it was helping them heal. And it sort of grew into this passion project, and I did all of this stuff around this idea of, and of finding your joy. I called it your muchness, like that, your fullness, your muchness that lives inside of you. And I got to the point where I could no longer stay at my full-time job because I felt called to this mission to do this. And simultaneously, or like shortly afterwards, Ellie, my husband, had this idea for the ear seeds. So I was like elbow deep in this world of inviting joy and healing and life and fun back into your life through color and sparkle and fun. And we, simultaneously he came to me. He came up with this idea for ear seeds. I'm going to just say he's brilliant. He's always thinking like, oh, here's a better way to do this. Here's a more creative way to make it accessible. Let's make a business. Like, oh, this is, always a business. Like, how can we make a business? It's just how his brain works. So, we were living in New Jersey at the time, and it was always snowing there. It was a real snowy winter. And he was always going out to shovel and then coming back and complaining about his back. And I couldn't give him acupuncture on his back because I am not an acupuncturist. And you know how when something's supposed to happen, worlds collide and then all these little hints come up and the universe tells you. So, and then we were watching TV and there was he saw this, there was a thing on Dr. Oz about ear seeds, like Penelope Cruz, was spotted wearing ear seeds for stress, and I think Matt Damon was spotted wearing ear seeds for back pain. And so they did this whole clip on the Dr. Oz show about it. And he's like, oh, duh, I could put on ear seeds. So he started wearing ear seeds when he was shoveling, and he felt like it was helping him. And he's like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe nobody has made these available to people. Like, it's such a powerful thing. And so he came to me with his idea, like, oh, we should figure out how to get these out to more people. And I told him, no. I was like, I told him no. I was like, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm busy, by the way. Yeah. And I was like, please, I was a huge skeptic. I just, even today, I'm not gonna lie, there are times where I'm like, really? Like, I feel like I'm still a skeptic and then I'm just proven wrong. But, it's good to keep a little skepticism because, it keeps things real. But, he had this idea and at first I said no and then he kept pushing me like, no, it's a good idea. And I was like, no. And then he put them on me for stress, which I had lots of because I had left my full-time job because I could no longer balance everything that I wanted to do and what felt called to do with that job. And I was like, after a week, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's something to this because that was like the best week I had in a long time. And so I agreed to jump on board and just a short while later, we launched our first collection of condition-specific kits, and we've grown from there. And what happened was after we launched the kits and, we started growing the business, I said, okay, all right, now I have to add sparkles because that's my thing. That's what I do. I put sparkles on everything and they're awesome. So, we did I also, coming from the product world, it's been a huge a huge help. I know where to go. I know how to source things and find things and do things and test things. And, we created the Swarovski crystal embellished ear seeds. So we use, Swarovski crystals. Do you know what Swarovski crystals are?
No, I don't.
So Swarovski is a company. They're like the, creme de la creme of crystal companies. So, there are, like when you watch the Academy Awards and they're wearing like bejeweled dresses, that's Swarovski. They're Austrian crystals. They're like the highest end crystals, crystal making company in the world.
So what kind of crystals are they? They look like maybe they're quartz?
No, well, they're not like organic, stone crystals. They're manufactured crystals, like rhinestones, but they're made out of the highest quality, highest cut crystals. So that's what they're made from, are these Swarovski crystals. And they embellish these 24 karat gold pellet ear seeds. So when you wear them, you get the benefit of the pressure. You get like the blood tonifying of the gold, and then you get the appearance of these beautiful sparkly crystals.
You get some bling.
You get some bling, or muchness as I call it. Yes. You get some bling, and and they're like a fashion statement. Like it's really been cool to kind of watch since we've started how, people have embraced them and they love them and they're fun and they're conversation starters, and they've helped us, open up the conversation around what is that and why are you wearing it and what is auriculotherapy. So it's a really great marriage of, form and function. And we're pretty proud of them. And, everything is, we now live in San Diego. So we left the snow of New Jersey and we were like, let's follow the sunshine.
That's why you moved, just to get to a warmer climate?
That was, that was a huge, tremendous part of it. Other parts of it were, we were building this business and we felt like California would probably be a really receptive market, and that, was not incorrect. We've enjoyed it out here. It's sort of good for us, our people. And, I think also with everything that we had been through over the, years prior, we were just ready for a change, a shift of scenery. Yes. And we were starting fresh and finding this outlet that was, helping others and using both of our talents and skills and passions. It sort of all came together for us, and it was just like, all right, if we're going to do this, like, let's fresh start and let's go. We just up and went very quickly. We just made the decision, last winter, like when the first snow fell in New Jersey, we were like, oh, you know what? I think I'm done here. Just like right away.
You got in the middle of winter?
Huh?
You moved while it was snowing and it was a winter?
No, we had not been thinking of moving. And then when that first snow fell, like within 3 days, we looked at each other and we were like, maybe we should move. And then in March, we visited San Diego. And in April, we sold our house in New Jersey. And then in May, we rented a house in San Diego. And in June, we moved. Yeah.
How long was that?
That was less than a year ago. So we're just coming upon our 1 year anniversary here in San Diego. So it's been an exciting year.
All right. Now let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm using the seeds to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to have to use these forever, or will there come a point to where I just won't need them anymore because my body will adjust to the fact that I'm no longer a smoker?
That is a very good question. And I can't tell you that I know an exact answer. I'd like to say that your body will just adjust. We get feedback from people who say that they cut back dramatically ongoing, and then maybe, and it's hard also for us to know the long term how, and you'll have to keep me posted and let me know so I have a better answer the next time. But it's hard for us to know the long term of how it works for people. I think a lot of people do, slowly cut back, and then at a certain point, maybe they make the decision to finish cold turkey and use these to help. I think again, it's about like listening to your body. With every order we send out, I don't know if you got yours, because I just started sending them maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, these stickers that say, listen to your body. It is always communicating with you. And that's really
I didn't get that, but I love that because I'm always that's one of my big things I always tell people. We have to listen to our bodies.
I'm going to have to send you some now.
Yeah. I'll take them in when I go to the farmer's market, cause I also make an organic skincare product.
Mm.
So when I go to the farmer's market, I'll go ahead and I'll hand them out. Cause that's one thing I'm saying, that's one problem with our society. We don't listen to what our bodies are telling us, and our bodies speak to us. I tell people this and they think I'm crazy. I'm like,
I don't think you're crazy. I send out stickers saying the same thing.
It's like, no, they do talk to us if we just pay attention.
Pay attention.
Right. And most of the time when I speak about the body listening, it has to do with food.
Mm.
Because, the foods we eat, they either have a positive reaction to our body or they have a negative reaction. And a lot of people think, this is normal. This is how I'm supposed to feel after I have dairy. Or, after I eat this or I eat that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not normal. That's not how we're supposed to feel. That's your body telling you, I don't like this, Yeah. Don't put this inside of me. This is not good for me. And we're all different. And that's why, I really I don't like the word diet, and I don't like all these diets that they come out with, or do this or do that, because everybody's different. And I always say you have to listen to your body to know, pay attention to how your body reacts after you eat, this, that, and the other thing. Mm-hmm. And like saying, I have a friend of mine, she has a 4-year-old son who has type 1 diabetes.
Mm.
And she wants him off the insulin, so she's trying to do things naturally. And I found out that fenugreek will help with the diabetes. So I gave her some fenugreek seeds, and she makes like a cracker she makes for him. And she tasted it and she called me. She said, I thought he was really bitter. And I said, I told you it was bitter, It's one of the more bitter, because we actually we use the fenugreek as a sprout. It's very healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, I told you it was bitter. And she said he came up and he was like, can I have some of those? And she was like, well, I don't know if you're going to like them. They're really bitter. And he ate it and he went, wow, this is really good. Can I have some more? And she realized too that his body was saying, I need this.
Yeah.
This is what I need. For her, it was like, yuck. How can you eat that? But for him, it was yum. This is good. But I loved it because we need to make like bumper stickers and t-shirts.
Yeah. You could do that online. They have all those websites that allow you to just upload your artwork and, have people buy them.
Just have a word place. Listen to your body.
Yeah, right? It's true. Ellie's also very into healthy food. He grew up, his mom is macrobiotic. When he was 12 years old, and that's how he got into acupuncture actually. When he was 12 years old, his aunt was diagnosed with like a bunch of bad cancers, and it looked really grim, and she was doing all of the Western medicine, and then it just wasn't getting any better, so she stopped all of it and went on a strict macro diet, and her cancer was cured. She cured her cancer. And so the whole family at that point started adjusting the way that they eat. And Ellie got really into it. He just found it fascinating. So he, from the time he was 12 years old, he was macrobiotic. For a while he was vegan, and he actually started eating chicken again when he went to acupuncture school, because the Chinese medicine, a way of belief is everything in moderation. So,
I agree.
Yeah. And then he just a few years ago, so we, when we met, we were both, I never knew anything about healthy eating. I mean, I grew up, meat and potatoes and,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna kind of cut you off right there. We've got 4 minutes until we take a break.
Okay.
And I'd like to, talk more about you and your husband and how you met and that whole story and get more into that when we come back.
Okay.
I'd also like for you to talk about, I know you shared a video because I did subscribe to your newsletter.
Okay.
So I know that you went back to New Jersey. And, I think it was I don't remember, it was somebody's
my grandmother. Yes.
I love that video.
I know. My grandmother's awesome.
That was a great video. Excuse me. But I'd like to talk about that too, about her story when we come back.
Okay.
And, we need to talk about the essential oils and the benefits of using those ear seeds, which I can figure out, but just for our listening audience so that they know, about that. And I find it really interesting that you and your husband met online because my husband and I also met online.
That's the way to be nowadays, right?
So no, a lot of people were just like, actually, it was really funny because a lot of people were telling him, you don't know she's a serial killer.
I was like, that just makes it all the more fun. What?
I told him, I said, we need to take a picture of me stabbing a box of Captain Crunch.
Oh, Lord.
Right, she's a serial killer.
That's funny. That's very funny.
So go ahead and take a break right now.
Okay.
You're listening to It's Your Life, Live It to the Fullest. I'm your host, Joyce Wheeler. It is Friday, May 27th, 2016. You're listening to Haggy Shack Radio and Will Spirit Radio. Please go ahead and click on that donate button. We are listener sponsored and show us some love. You can visit itsyourlifemag.com and also check out earseeds.com. And we'll be right back after this. To the fullest. I'm your host, Joyce Wheeler. It is Friday, May 27th, 2016. You're listening to Will Spirit Radio and Haggy Shack Radio. Please remember we're listener sponsored, so click that donate button and show some love. And I am here tonight with my guest, Tova Gold from earseeds.com. Tova, are you back with us?
I sure am. Hi, how are you?
Good. I want to say something. There was somebody who joined, there's a live chat and somebody joined and said, hello, shiny, happy people.
I love that. I love it.
And Colleen has a question. She wants to know if oh no, it was from somebody else. But anyway, can acupuncture help to stimulate the pineal gland or stimulate the third eye for things like intuition and things of that nature?
Well, I can't speak to acupuncture. I'm not qualified to do so. I know that, there is a pineal point on the ear. That's the name of it. But offhand, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly where it is. There's also, so to that extent, I could say that. You'd really have to talk to a practicing licensed acupuncturist who understands that side of what it is that you're trying to tap into to know if that's something that exists. I'm not equipped to really give an answer on it there.
Do you have, any videos on your website that address the pineal gland?
I'm not sure offhand. We have about a dozen different videos showing how to locate specific points. I don't know offhand if one of them is the pineal gland. But you can certainly go to our website, earseeds.com. At the bottom of the home page, it'll say need help. There's a big blue square that says need help with point placement. And if you click on that, it'll lead you to the page with all of the location videos. There's also, you could probably Google and find where on the ear it is, even, or see what comes up for it. And if you need help finding that area on the ear, even if we don't have that specific point, there's another video on that same page. It's me. I made a video. It's called A Tour of the Ear. And that, video will walk you through the different parts of the ear, because when you learn the landscape of the ear, how to find different parts, then it's easier to identify the specific points as it relates to those landmarks. So those are some things that you could go. And I mean, there's a lot of information and more every day. I'm thinking I should, go do some research and write a blog post about that specific question, because we've never been asked, and it's interesting.
I was just say that's a blog post.
It totally is a blog post.
You want a newsletter.
I'm sorry?
You want to include that in your newsletter once you write that blog post?
Yeah, I know. I'm taking notes. Yeah, and in our newsletter, we send out, I send out emails currently. We're doing it twice a week. Every Tuesday is really just some bit of auriculotherapy education. So, we'll talk about something like this, or, there was a recent Tuesday email just about the Shen Men point and going into a little bit more detail about why we use that point in all of our kits. And then on Fridays, we generally send out a special for the weekend, which actually we have, or for either the day or the weekend. And we have one going on right now for Memorial Day. So,
about that.
About
your special for Memorial Day.
Oh, our special for Memorial Day.
I didn't get that newsletter.
Huh? It went out this morning. People have been using it. You didn't get it?
No.
Oh, hello?
And what is into my spam either?
I'm gonna have to go check to see, if something happened with the delivery of it. Maybe I set it for PM instead of AM? That would be weird. So anyway, I'll tell you, there's 15% off everything on the site, from now through the weekend. So you just have to use the coupon code Memorial Sale at checkout, and it should delete 15% from your total inbox. So there's that. Yeah, and you should sign up, for your listeners. You could sign up as well, and it wouldn't work in conjunction with this, but when you sign up for our mailing list, you get a 10% off coupon as well as an ebook that we created that gives a bit of the history of auriculotherapy. A little bit about, how it's been seen in the news, the celebrities that have been seen wearing ear seeds, stuff like that, as well as, just a little bit about where its roots come from and stuff like that.
Got it all. I got my discount.
Excellent.
And I got my ebook too.
Excellent.
Because that's one thing that I do. I'm into living natural, so I do my research. I am a natural living researcher, and anything I could get my hands on that tells me how I could live naturally and do things naturally, I take it up. Just like, for the listeners right now, there is, on ityourlifemag.com, I have, some links up for a free summit that's coming up June 6th through the 13th on longevity and aging. And actually, I signed up for it, and some of the freebies that you get with it are like 3 of the speakers that are going to be on there. And it's actually very interesting, but at the same time, it was very distressing, but I'm not going to go into that because that's not what the show's about. So if they want to sign up for a newsletter, they just go to earseeds.com.
Absolutely. Yep. Earseeds.com. We're easy to find. If you're looking for ear seeds, you'll find them at earseeds.com. And you can either go to the bottom. There's a place to sign up for the mailing list, or there'll probably be a very non-annoying, pop-up that'll pop up just once. And you can snag it while it's there.
Great. Okay. So before we took the break, we were talking about your husband and the microbiome. And for people who don't know what the microbiome is, it's actually our good gut bacteria. And 80% of our immune system is located in our gut. And when that good gut bacteria is in jeopardy, we get sick. And actually, from the research I've done, the majority of our issues are because our gut bacteria is out of whack. So you were talking about how when he went to school, all of a sudden he started eating chicken and mashed potatoes and.
No. No, let me clarify. So he, not the macro. He actually grew up his mom followed a macrobiotic diet. So I don't know how that relates to the gut bacterial thing, but the macrobiotic diet is like a specific diet that, there's no meat if you eat fish and other kinds of, proteins, and there's different vegetables that you can or can't eat. You don't eat nightshades. So there's all of these different rules about it. I don't really know very much about it. But I grew up just eating, mac and cheese and meat and potatoes. Yeah, and when we met, I enjoy healthy food, and he taught me more about healthy food. He was not as into a healthy diet as he had been, growing up, but he still liked healthy food. But then after, when I was pregnant with our youngest daughter, and my body was it was not happy with me. It was my third pregnancy in, 2 years. I mean, my body was not in good shape. It was weak, and I was not taking very good care of it. And my husband he's gonna kill me, he turned 40 years old, and he said, I want to start eating healthy again, like full on healthy. And I said, like I did when he came to me with ear seeds, no, not interested. I was like, no, I'm not, I was pregnant. I was like, I'm not gonna sit and start learning how to cook a whole new type of food. So he started getting into it, and he really switched up our diet and started introducing lots of healthy new options, and I learned how to cook tofu and tempeh and seitan and all of these other vegan friendly foods. No more processed foods, and it was just the best thing ever. Like, we've been eating healthy for the most part. I still like my sugar, and I still have my coffee and stuff like that, but just bringing in a lot more healthy, natural, a lot more produce, a lot more grains and beans and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Are you eating organic?
We eat mostly organic. We eat organic meat. And yeah, I mean, we again, in moderation, we don't eat that much meat. But when we do, we try to keep it organic. Same with chicken. We try to have a very, produce and grain filled diet that we, like you said, it's not a diet. It's a healthy lifestyle, right. and stick with those kind of foods. And, we don't beat ourselves up if we, he doesn't, he doesn't miss any of those other foods, and he doesn't eat any dairy. I'll eat some dairy.
You mentioned the word diet.
Yeah.
The thing too is the word diet is actually defined as the way that a person eats. So it's like our society has really taken and twisted that word around.
Right.
I mean, you go to the zoo and they say, well, this is the lion's diet. This is the elephant's diet. Right. It's their diet. It's the way that they eat all the time. Mm-hmm. So that word has kind of become contorted.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree. So yeah, we have a healthy diet.
There you go.
Right.
I know that, from research that I've done, I know, animal products are actually very hard on our digestive system. And for that reason, and I am a meat eater. I like my meat. And my body wants it.
Yeah, my body does too. Like, there are certain times when I'm like, oh, that's what I gotta have today.
Right. And I believe that, like, cravings that we have sometimes, I believe it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I think that our bodies say, yeah, this is what I need. And I know that at times for me, because I've always been, conscious about my weight, trying to maintain my weight, exercising, and just don't, you know what? I really don't want to eat that because I deem it unhealthy, but my body's screaming for it. So it's like, okay. Cause if you try to go ahead and start substituting other things, what you're craving, you land up eating more, and then you land up eating what you wanted in the first place. I know I do.
Yeah, so, that's true. It's true.
It's like you have cravings, your body's saying, I want this, just go ahead and cave and give it to it. Mm-hmm. But like I said earlier too, it's moderation.
Moderation, exactly. So yeah. And then, the ear seeds are just another part of a healthy lifestyle, a way to help keep balance and just, include it in your repertoire of tools for, that kind of a healthy lifestyle.
Well, and that's why I was really happy to find the ear seeds.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been really rewarding to see, the knowledge base about it grow and get, testimonials from people, whom it's helped, you didn't get this week's newsletter, but I talk about how, I spent my whole life in product design and creating products, but none of those products has the same emotional pull that this, it feels good to know that you're creating something that is helping somebody, you're not just making it is helping somebody, and that's, it's very rewarding. And in that email I also mentioned the essential oils ear seeds, which I know you wanted to ask about.
We got a frequency thing going here because I was just about to bring that up.
Yes.
Yes. So, about the essential oil seeds and why you chose the essential oils that you chose.
Okay. So, essential oils are tremendous right now, right? You have to be living under a rock not to know that. Everybody is, discovering, in all categories of people, like discovering, the benefits of essential oils. And, I occasionally use them. I'm not like a devotee to essential oils, but I do use them and I like the ones that I use.
Did we lose Joyce or something? Did we lose the call altogether? Well, they're trying to get the call back. Isn't this interesting?
Hello?
Hello?
Are we back? Oh, we're back.
We are back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
So you were talking about oils and that if people aren't aware about the essential oils, they've been hiding under a rock.
Yes. So, I was paying attention to them because they're interesting, and I was noticing that a lot of the conditions that people use them for, match up with a lot of the conditions of our kids, right? Like a lot of the same, things that people need help for in other areas. And I was like, well, we should definitely come up with something that combines these modalities, and so, we sat down and again, like we did before, a lot of experimentation, and, we created this patent pending product, which is, essential oil infused ear seeds. So we have a proprietary secret way of creating them, and they look identical to our regular tan tape ear seeds that come in our condition kits. However, their secret ingredient is these high quality essential oils, that they're infused with. So when you open them and you take them out of the package, you can smell them. And when you wear them, you can smell them. And it's subtle, but it's definitely there. And it sort of just adds, we combine, it adds to the sensory experience of ear seeds, basically. So we have them in 3 scents. We have them, and we chose scents that sort of run the gamut for different, that could very clearly apply to certain conditions. So we've got lavender, peppermint, and orange. And lavender, is known to be, soothing and relaxing, and people will often use that, for treating like sleep issues or stress and anxiety. We have the peppermint, peppermint is invigorating and healing. I've actually seen somebody put these on, an acupuncturist posted online a picture of her wearing them right, like on her face, actually next to her nostrils for, this soothing peppermint on this, I suppose that's a, pressure point that I don't know of, which I should find out, but it's on the face and not on the ear. And then orange, which is uplifting and refreshing. It just feels good, and it's, for heightened energy and stuff like that. So, they've been really good. They're really fun when you wear them because sometimes you just like out of nowhere get a burst of scent around you and you're like, oh, that's nice.
So how long do those last?
So they stay on your ear the same like the regular ear seeds, about 3 to 5 days. The scent itself can probably, we say it lasts about 12 to 24 hours. It's, if you shower, it'll probably lose its scent earlier, but in the box, I mean, they last for about a year, not on your ear, but once they're exposed and they're on your ear, they last, like a day. The scent will last, but you can still continue to wear them for another, 2, 3, 4 days.
It would be nice if you could figure out a way to really harness that scent in them so that they could last longer.
Yeah, it would be.
Wheel spinning.
Huh? I'll get the wheel spinning. Oh, my wheels spin. Oh, there's so many things that my wheels are spinning around.
Yeah, just, like I infuse oils with herbs. So I'm sitting over here thinking,
Yeah.
Well,
because of the process that you need to do it, the adhesive tape is very sensitive and the oils can be pretty strong. So it's a very particular thing we use. I mean, some people might say they do last longer. We're just not going to claim that they do, the scent, because, we wouldn't want to say, oh, they'll last the entire 3 days you're wearing your ear seeds, and then have somebody say, no, I stopped smelling them after 12 hours. Like,
yeah.
So there's that.
I could see that. So let's talk about, the grandma story.
Oh, my grandma. Oh, she just texted me actually as I was sitting here. I saw it pop up.
For the holidays, and what happened?
So, we went, we traveled to New York, New Jersey for, Passover, which recently passed. And, my grandmother was supposed to join us at my mom's house, and shortly before the holiday, she hurt herself. And my grandma is super high energy, like amazing. I mean, people, I don't even have the words. So she hurt herself. And I mean, I know she's had like back problems, on and off sciatica issues, for a little while, her leg or whatever, but she is full on energy and, tough it out, works through it. So when she said she couldn't come to my mom's for the holiday, I was like, ooh, that is a little scary and probably more serious than other things up until now. And, so we went to go visit her, and I brought with me the sciatica kit and the back pain and sciatica kit. And she's very natural, but she also is like, doesn't necessarily like new things, which is ironic because I just said a text message popped up from her, and it's so weird. She said, how do I use the word hashtag? Is it one word? And I was like, what? What are you asking me? So when I get off the phone, I'm going to go text her back and be like, what? But anyway, so she's very nervous about trying new things. She likes what she likes and knows what she knows, And I came over, I said, can I put these ear seeds on for your sciatica? And she really did not want me to. But I persisted. I was like, she's like, well, am I going to have any, I take my medicine. Is it going to have any side effects with the medicine? I said, no, you don't have to worry. It's not putting anything in your body. Just relax. Let me put it on. She finally let me. I put ear seeds primarily on the side on the side that was experiencing the pain. That's another point that I should bring up. People ask if they put it on both ears. In general, we say yes, you should put it on both ears. However, if you're experiencing specific pain on one side of the body, then you can just put primarily on that side of the body. And that's what I did for her. By the time I got to the second ear, she wasn't letting me anywhere near her anyway. And I put it on that one side, and she's high energy like me. So she was like, trying to move around and do and see and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, after I put it on, she's like, oh, I'm starting to feel dizzy and weak and loopy headed. I said, that's because you're moving around. Like when you go for acupuncture, the acupuncturist lies you on the table. They put on nice music and they tell you to relax. I was like, sit down and relax. Give it 5 minutes. And she was like, fine. And she sat down for 5 minutes. And then she got up and I don't even think she realized she started kind of walking around her apartment. And my kids were looking at some of her pictures and she started telling them, oh, that's a picture of this, that's a picture of that. And like 5 minutes into that, she's like, oh, look at me. I'm like walking around. And I'm like, yeah, look at you. And then about 10 minutes after that, she was in her kitchen. And this is where I got the video. I was like watching her in her kitchen, just moving around, doing her thing. And then she's like, look at me. I'm watching. And you have to see the video. She just like marches out of her kitchen and she started doing like calisthenics, swinging her body around. She leaned over. She stood up. I swear I didn't make any of it up. I was like, I was overwhelmed by what was going on with her. Like she couldn't even believe it. She was like, how are these things working? I don't even understand. I was like, and then of course, you only saw the 15 seconds of the video. The part after that, she starts talking to me, oh, you gotta get PR. She's in PR. That's her industry. She's like, you gotta get PR. You gotta get this person wearing it. You gotta get that person. Why don't more people know about this? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cut that out of the video. But yeah, it was really remarkable to see. I mean, cause when we got there, she couldn't even like bend over and give my kids a hug. It was really scary. You know, it's scary to see people you love like that. So to see her, it was maybe 25 minutes after I put them on, she was overwhelmed by how much better she was moving.
What's your most popular? Well, first off, let's talk about the various issues that you have for the different kits.
Okay. Well, I can tell you the different conditions that we have. We've got weight loss, which is our bestseller. Our back pain sciatica kit, and that has points for back pain, and then underneath is a second section, like if you also have sciatica, here are some points that may apply. And people ask, oh, do I use all the points? Do I use some of the points? And depending what condition, you could read the, brief description of what it's for. Usually we'll say use all of them, except if they're in the only if they apply section. We've got insomnia, headaches and migraines, which is also broken up into two sections, headaches and then migraines. We've got a menopause kit. We've got focus and memory, anxiety. We've got the stop smoking kit, stress, depression. We have a libido kit, which the points can be used for both men and women. We haven't launched it yet, but it is like literally it's coming any day now. We have a postpartum kit for, women who've just had a baby. And then I'm sorry?
I said, really?
Yeah, really. Well, we partnered with also an acupuncturist who's a postpartum specialist to create that kit. And when we partner with a specialist, you can read on the back of the kit. It'll have their picture and a short bio about them. You can go onto their website and learn more about them. They really, we find people who are the top of the acupuncture field. Ellie's got a long history in acupuncture as an industry. Before we did this, and even now, he's done, online directories of acupuncturists. He's really involved in the acupuncture community. And so we know, the people to go to. So we also have these extended kits, which are our eyes and vision kit and our fertility kit. And the extended kits, so the eyes and vision kit, we connected with, Dr. Andy Rosenfarb, who is probably the country's leading specialist in acupuncture for eye care. And he deals with some serious eye issues, from blindness and retinitis pigmentosa and all of these other things that thankfully I don't know too much about. So in this kit, it includes not only the protocol, but a bunch of eye exercises and essential oils that can be used for a variety of different eye conditions. He's written books. He's taught other acupuncturists. So that's, people wouldn't think eyes and vision, but yeah, it can really, be a great option. And then our fertility kit, which is our most recent launch, is a really special kit because for this we partnered, with Heidi Brockmeyer, who is actually a San Diego-based practitioner who specializes in fertility. And she, created a kit that has 4 different protocols that follow you throughout your monthly cycle. So for a certain part of your cycle, you follow one protocol, and then For the next part, she has a different protocol depending on what your body needs to do in order to create a healthy fertile cycle. And it also comes with a supplemental men's chart because you want your man to be involved in that as well. And she has a whole online program that's her own, but about like creating a fertile cycle. So when you get the kit, you really get introduced to her, and she's created other information specifically for your seeds customers when they come to her website through our product. So it's really exciting.
Let me ask you this. Has she dealt with PCOS at all?
Those are them so far. We get, hello?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome?
Hello? Hello?
Did I lose her again?
Yes. Okay, we seem to have lost it again. Although it's showing them on. My signal's strong.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
You're back. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Tova, before we lost connection, I had asked you, does she know anything or has she ever dealt with PCOS?
I'm sure she has.
Syndrome,
yes.
Ovarian syndrome? Yeah, I know people who would be interested in that. Actually, my daughter has it. And there's 2 or 3 of her cousins that actually have it. And that's
wow, yeah. I mean, again, I don't know too much in detail about that, but I know that is, you know, a common condition that people might see an acupuncturist for because they can address it from a totally different perspective than Western medicine.
Right. You know, one thing I would be interested to know, because polycystic ovarian syndrome, has a lot to do with the hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and earlier you mentioned the libido kit, and that's a hormone issue too. So obviously acupuncture could help with the hormones. Oh, and you mentioned your menopausal kit.
So these points that are part of auriculotherapy, like I said, like we didn't invent them, and we didn't invent auriculotherapy. So we create a combination of points that we address the issues from all perspectives, from the physical to the emotional aspect of it. But we're not, because we're not working directly with a patient, you know, as you know, like we as human beings are so complex. There's so many things that are going on at any given time that I would definitely recommend that she see an acupuncturist, for PCOS as a, you know, potential source for help, in dealing with that. And I would check out Heidi's website to see what kind of information she has there, because I know she does treat it very holistically and come at it, you know, all parts of it.
And what's her name? Heidi what?
Heidi Brockmeyer. You could find her on our website on that kit. So if you go look on that kit, whether you purchase the kit or not, you can find Heidi's information there.
One for fertility?
On our fertility kit, correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm sorry, let's get back on to the kits you were talking about.
Yeah, so I don't know where I was, because I could, you know, talk and talk and talk. I don't know where we clicked out. But I was talking about fertility. That's really the last one that I was talking about. So if we got through that one, then.
But then you were talking about not just the kits, but the fact of the acupuncturists that you worked with and partnered with to create. Now, what I'm curious about is was there acupuncturists involved in the development of all the kits, or just some of the kits?
So, Ellie is an acupuncturist. So there was an acupuncturist involved in all of the kits. And, you know, as we're doing this, he's really made auriculotherapy the focus of his study. So, let me tell you, I don't think I told you even the history of auriculotherapy really, because auriculotherapy really only finds its roots in Chinese medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. So in that way, from an Eastern perspective, they've been using it a long time. But in the 1950s, there was a French physician named Dr. Paul Nogier, And he, was treating a patient one day who came in, and he noticed that the patient had some cauterization scar on his upper ear. And so he asked the patient.
Wait, had a what kind of scar?
Like a cauterizing, like I guess that's like a burn mark almost. Like it was cauterized in a certain area. And he asked the patient, like, what's that thing on your ear? And the patient said, that was to treat my sciatica. I had part of my ear cauterized. And he was like, oh, that's pretty interesting and weird. And then, and he asked, did it work? And the guy said, yeah, it totally worked. And then another patient came in with the same area of their ear cauterized for the same purpose and also said it worked. And this really piqued, Dr. Nogier's interest. He was like, what is this? And he started exploring auriculotherapy. And he started looking into it, and he spent the rest of his life studying auriculotherapy, writing about it, exploring the ear. He's known as the grandfather of auriculotherapy, and there's a whole Western side of auriculotherapy that he really spearheaded, and he's the one that's credited at the starting point with that. And that system is based on, if you look at the ear, the ear is such a complex little feature, but on some of our paperwork, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of it somewhere, if you kind of squint and look at the ear, it sort of resembles an upside down fetus. So when we talk about the ear as a microsystem, I'm sorry, did I cut you off there?
No, I was just like, wow, that's really wild. But somebody in the chat room has a question for you.
Oh.
They want to know if you have anything that would help someone with Asperger's, autism, ADD, or ADHD.
So hold on. At this time, we don't have a kit for that. However, we are currently working with a leading pediatric cardiologist. No, that's my sister. Pediatric acupuncturist, on a kit that is going to include points for those particular issues. We do have a number of acupuncturists who use ear seeds, for those points. But we want to make sure that when we put out information, for those particular issues, we are getting our information straight from the source from people who are using those. At this point, we're really excited for that kit. And it's going to be big and expanded and have all sorts of, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling this stuff, but it's going to have all sorts of, different issues specifically related to kids. And the truth is kids can use, most of the kits that we have. But specifically with kids, this kit's going to have those, behavioral and other kinds of issues like that, as well as physical things that frequently affect kids.
So do you have any idea of when this will be released, or do you have any kind of
timeline? We have a timeline. We've had a timeline now, and I have to admit that I'm the one who extended it because I got busy. What are we now? May? We're looking at by the middle of the year, by the end of June, probably is our goal for the release of that, or the pre-release of that. But yeah, it's like heavy in process now. It's a lot of information. It's got acupressure exercises as well. The acupuncturist we're working with, her name is Robin Green. And she's just a rock star when it comes to, kids and acupuncture. In fact, her website, I think she's in the middle of changing over, but for years, her website's been Kids Love Acupuncture, and she has all sorts of incredible, you could probably actually find some information about this already on her website. She uses ear seeds a lot in her practice. And yeah, so that's what we're looking at.
So if anybody wanted to, know when they were released, should they sign up for your newsletter? Is that going to be released in your newsletter?
That would be an excellent idea for them to do. Our newsletter, like I said, I do the newsletter myself. It's sort of an exercise of passion for me. Like, I love communicating with our customers. I love, sort of helping bridge that gap that a lot of people have towards auriculotherapy, making it feel familiar and accessible and not intimidating, because you can't see your ear so well. People, sometimes shy away from it, and I really, I use that newsletter, and I really try to care about, the content that I send. I'm not just throwing information at you to fill your inbox and be annoying. I really take it seriously, and though I have lots of corny jokes in my emails, I take the writing of them very seriously. So yeah, I don't try to abuse my spot in your inbox. I respect it.
Right. But I was just asking if they, when you do, I know you just recently released like 2 new products.
Well, we haven't, on a recent email I said we had 2 new products, our limited editions, which I haven't even spoken about. Our limited editions I guess they are new products which we're releasing on a regular basis. So we create they are limited. I get all of these funky little, embellishments, and we hand decorate ear seeds, to be really fun and, pretty and colorful. It's sort of a creative outlet for me, and it's a really great product for people who are just looking to have fun with this. So like when I just recently released some limited edition ear seeds, some of them had tiny little seahorses and seashells and feathers on them. They were I call them summertime seashore. So really taking my fashion background and sort of infusing it into this ear seeds and meshing all of these passions and loves together to create a product that people are crazy about.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, it's like I've been really busy this week and I didn't get a chance to see what the new products were.
Yeah, well, one's already sold out because we totally do, sometimes it'll be I get the embellishments and and they come as they come, and then if I can make 5 of them, that's it. There's 5, and when they're gone, they're gone. So it's just a fun way to keep it interesting, both on our part, and because of, I love all of those quirky little colorful, sparkly, all of it. It's just fun. And keep it interesting for you guys, we love to be able to offer something different and change it up and like I said, make it accessible. And all of that stuff goes through my email. So if you're on my email list, you get all that info first usually before I shove it on social media or anything, especially if it's something that I know I only have a little bit of. My mailing list people come first.
Well, time goes by really quick and we're almost out of it. So.
Wow. Let me look at my list of things.
No, well, you can always come back on.
Okay.
That's not
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. But, I want to know, is there anything that you want to make sure that you get out to the listeners? Make sure you put your contact information, whatever social media, just.
So we are on Ear Seeds across all social media platforms. I Instagram a lot. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. And you can get on our mailing list at earseeds.com and, get your coupons and your specials. And if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm at Tova at earseeds.com, Tova. So I'm always happy to connect with people. That's one of my happy things to do. And, that's it. The ebook is there when you sign up for our mailing list. And if you have any direct questions, we love to hear them. And then we can make blog posts out of them and other people can learn from those things.
Well, not only that, but you recently had a thing on Facebook where you're answering questions.
Oh yes. My Facebook Live.
Is that going to be a common thing that you're going to do on a regular basis, or was that just a one-time thing?
I would love to do more. So I did Facebook Live. It was 35 minutes. I walked through all of our products. I don't know if you could tell from that video, I have a lot of energy.
No, actually, to be honest, I didn't see it.
Oh, no, not at all. And next time I'll have to ramp it up a little bit, I think. No. But yes, I would love to do more of those. They're fun and it's great to be able to answer questions immediately and engage the conversation that the person wants to have, because sometimes especially with my tendency to ramble, I lose sight of the question by the time I get to the end of the answer. So, so that was a really fun and engaging platform. And again, I tell, I'll put it in our newsletter if I'm going to be live on Facebook doing a Q&A or any kind of, sometimes I'll walk through a product, I've done that making videos of them, but I probably would do that live on Facebook next time, just showing you the inside, showing the points, explaining like we did with the, smoking kit, but doing it visually.
So what about YouTube? Are you on YouTube?
So we are on YouTube. That's where all of our videos are. Most of the YouTube videos are linked on our website. But you can find us at Earseeds on YouTube as well.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We still have a little bit of time. Is there anything else that we want to cover? I like these limited editions. How often do you create these limited editions? And is there a limited edition that's coming out soon, and when?
Ooh, okay, good questions. So the limited editions, I try to do them pretty regularly. When I first started, I said every Tuesday, but sometimes I can't meet that deadline. So I just sort of keep them rolling and I share them in the newsletter. I have some really cute stuff that is on the pipeline to be made and shared. And a lot of them, like I said, I only have they'll maybe enough, embellishments to make maybe 5 or 6 pieces of that style. We've also got pearls, which are done as limited editions. We have slightly more quantity of those because those are really popular and I was able to get more quantity. So they look like tiny little pearls instead of the crystals. And I don't think we mentioned the chakra crystals are oddly enough.
Oh gosh, no, we have to.
We have to talk about those.
We have to go back on the show now.
Well, I could squeeze it in because I talk fast, but our chakra crystals, so they're made with the same Swarovski crystals as our clear crystals, but these are, the colors that we selected, and we were talking about color has energy. I can't believe we skipped this, but the colors have energy. So, we pair the different colors with the different chakras of the body, and they come all beautifully packaged, looking like the rainbow that follows, the color of, the crown chakra to the third eye chakra, all the way down to the root chakra. And the chart that it comes with just gives you a basic, description of the elements of that. Hello? Are we still here?
Yeah, well, we're back.
Is Joyce on? There you go.
So last thing I heard you say was that the chakra kit and the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, so they're put in, all the different colors, but they're, partnered with the different chakras. So like the pinks are for the crown chakra and the kits come with a chart that tells you like this chakra is all about like security, stability, survival instinct. And then it gives you a affirmation to speak, like as you're putting on the rhinestone, on the ear seed.
I love that.
Resonates with the chakra. Yeah, they're really fun.
I like the fact that you included affirmation with it.
I love affirmations.
Yeah, I do too. And it's like saying a little prayer,
Yes. Yeah. I'm really all about another thing that you might have gotten even in yours. I don't know. Are these little cards, with inspirational quotes on them. I'm also a big fan of inspirational quotes. And those are actually from the work that I've done in the muchness that I was talking about earlier, all the positive, helping women and sending positive vibes out. So I have these cards and I've been throwing those into our packages too because
I didn't get that, but it's like you're giving me some good packaging ideas here for when I go to.
Oh, yes. Packaging is king, So, yeah. And that's the fun part. So, yeah.
Even on my label, like I'm recreating my labels. Mm-hmm. And, wouldn't it be fun? That's one thing. What is it? That one organic tea. What is it? Lucky Leaf, I think it's called. Something like that. They have these positive affirmations, not affirmations, but they're just positive sayings on the inside of their lids, and then there's a tea brand. I can't remember which one it is.
I have it it could be like Yogi tea or something.
I was thinking it was Yogi too, but I'm not sure. We have some tea.
Yeah.
But I love that. And now I'm going, wow, I'm creating these new labels. Maybe I can make put these positive,
Yeah. In our Swarovski crystal products, also, if you look at them from the front, they've got like a window where the product sticks out. But then once you open the box and remove the product, hiding behind it inside the window is an inspirational quote.
That's awesome. I love that. So is there anything else that you want to mention about the chakra kit?
No, I mean, you can check it out. These come with 60 pellets in the kit, so 60 ear seeds, plus the stainless steel tweezer that's colored gold, so it looks all pretty, and then the chart. And you can also, that's how it comes as the 60 piece. You can also buy a much larger kit where you get 2 shades of each of the different 7 chakra colors. So you get like 2 shades of indigo, 2 shades of red, 2 shades of blue, and the tweezer, and that same chart, but it's as like an oversized magnet, so you can keep it anywhere and see all the affirmations and the different chakra meanings and inspirations wherever you are. So, and that's like a ton of ear seeds, so they will last you a long time and look beautiful and that.
So our chakras also, they're nerve endings, if I'm correct, that on the bottoms of our feet, on the palms of our hands, and on our ears that go to the various parts of our bodies, both internally and externally.
You mean the acupressure points?
Yeah.
Or the chakras. The acupressure points are there, and those go internally to our brain and send messages throughout our body. The chakras are like the inner energy spheres, like down the center of our bodies. So they just sort of evoke the energies of, like, so if one of your chakras is sort of out of alignment, like bringing in that color can help sort of center you and keep you balanced.
Right. But what I was trying to say was that obviously the nerves that are in the ear are attached to the chakras, correct?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I don't know that I can say that. Like, they're different systems, and the chakras we use, for their color energy alone. And then we use the crystals, of course, for their prettiness. And so it's just a combination of different factors that all combine into the finished product.
All right. We have to go, but real quick, I just want to confirm this. But yes. The ear seed chakras, they're actually going into the ear, right?
The ear seeds are going on the ear, yes.
But isn't that what it said?
Well, they're, yeah, I don't want, because, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the same ear seeds, yes.
The ear seeds for the chakras are going inside the ear.
Go inside the ear, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I just want to confirm that because it was just like, wait a minute. These are seeds.
They're ear seeds. They are absolutely ear seeds, yes.
So there's obviously these nerve endings that are connected within our ears to our chakras. Wow. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tovia, our time is up. It has been great having you here. I hope you come back again.
Thank you.
I look forward to doing more business with you and to receiving more newsletters. If you want to connect with Tovia, go to earseeds.com. Make sure you sign up for that newsletter because you don't want to miss any of the good stuff that's coming up, especially those sales they have going on every now and then. So for now, everybody stay sparkly, happy. You've been listening to It's Your Life, Live It to the Fullest. I'm your host, Joyce Wheeler, and it is Friday, May 27th, 2016. You've been listening to Well Spirit Radio and the Haggy Shack Radio. Show some love and click that donate button, and everybody have a great night, day, afternoon. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Tovia.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to It's Your Life. Just get it done now. with hosts Joyce Wheeler and Krista Nelson, who will empower you to live a happy, healthy, natural life. You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.